Very warm welcome to all the participants for our Atal FDP, which is organized by our department, Department of Computer Science Engineering, NIT Puducherry. First of all, I congratulate and thank Dr. Narendran sir for his initiative and conducting such a good workshop in our institute. And it is also very useful for all the participants because the topic is very catchy and it is a very no challenging area nowadays. People are talking about IoT. So the topic which is assigned to me is artificial intelligence and data analytics in SIoT and IoT and applications. So I will be talking about general, and we have used some IoT concepts in our projects, as which is specified by the specified in the introduction. We have carried out some DST projects and the source funded project, right? So, trying to use this kind of, and even are working on with multiple agencies and we are planning to.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Your voice is not audible, sir. Sir? போய் சொல்றோம்.
Hello. Hello.
Sir? Sir, now you are audible, sir. Your screen is not visible, sir.
Now it is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is visible.
I'm audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is audible, sir.
Okay, okay. Please let me know something goes wrong because
yes,
I'll
sir,
be
sir.
on the presentation. Okay.
Okay, right. Sir. Okay, sir.
So yeah. So the topic is on artificial intelligence and data analytics in IoT and applications. As I said, you have done some projects which is sponsored by ISRO, and you are doing some project which is supported by DSJCPS, and even we are doing some collaboration work with the UPASI T-board, and then the and healthcare also. Okay, so where you are trying to use these techniques, AI and data analytics, and as well as the IoT. So I'll be discussing the basics, and then I will move to the work where we can use these techniques. Okay. So what is the need of artificial intelligence? Everyone knows that. Okay, so you know that the data which you are getting today, it's huge. Okay, it's not a small data. You can see this presentation, right? So you are moving to zettabyte data and petabytes of data and so on. And also earlier, no, the completely you were dependent on the humans to collect the data. But now it is not the case. We have devices like IoT devices. Okay, we have different various sensors. These sensors collects data and it will be computed in any computing platform like edge computing or cloud computing and so on, right? So the IoT devices which generates huge amount of data. So how to analyze such a data? How to dig the required pattern from such a large amount of data? Where you need this AI. So we can say that the AI is mainly used to analyze the data which are collected by the IoT devices. And you might have heard about this. Even I given this reference slide. Okay, this fourth industrial revolutions. Okay, so, which is a good a white paper. We can just go through this. It's a very important paper where they are talked about this. Like, often you can think about people are talking about, and another important terminology is a cyber-physical system. Okay, I told right you are doing a project under the DST ICPS, Department of Science and Technology. Under that, there was a division called ICPS, Interdisciplinary Cyber-Physical System. The ultimate aim of this division is to promote research areas in uh, very important field like artificial intelligence, and where if you say artificial intelligence, you will get all the artificial intelligence umbrella. Under that, you have all the data learnings like machine learning, deep learning, okay, and then data science, data analytics, all these things comes under that. Okay, so this DST ICPS motivates the research academia, okay, to come up with a novel research problem in cyber physical system. Okay, so in the cyber physical system is another area where AI and IoT contributes. Okay, without these two, we cannot form the cyber physical system. Okay, so the cyber physical system is driven by AI and this IoT, right? And also now people are talking about automation. Okay, so extreme automations and connectivity. You know that IoT, what is that? Internet of Things. Okay, and now people are talking about SIoT and IoT. So whatever it may be, but the only thing is, the ultimate aim is you have to make our life very easier. That is the ultimate aim of this techniques like AI and IoT. So kindly go through this paper. You will get a lot of interesting news about this industrial revolutions. And now there is another terminology which is coined by the research community and forum. It's called as AI for everything, the AOE. Okay, like you used to say IOE. Okay, like that you have AOE, right? So this IOE is nothing but Institute of Eminence, like some of the institute across the Indias are awarded by IOE. Like that, we have AOE. AOE is nothing but AI for everything. Simple. If you have a data, you can apply AI. Okay. So how to get the data? For that, we are going to use IoT, right? So the IoT devices are going to collect the data, and it will be huge data. And if you want to analyze, then you need AI technique. So is AI creating a digital quake where 80% of companies and job will need to change or fail? Now people see the company has to change, okay, for the current trend. Okay, and also we have to talk about what are the implications to the society and economic development and path to prosperity. That's another important things we have to consider. Okay, and we have to think about the various standards for AI also. Okay, that's what that SDG is doing. Okay, and if you want to know the evidence for AI for everything, there are many examples. Like now you know that it's used in many places. Self-driving taxis. People are. This is another important development in the field of AI and IoT. Okay, now people are looking for, even if you look another 10 years or even it may be 5 years. Okay, you no need of drivers. Okay, so we can drive our vehicles without a driver. So it's a self-driving taxis. Okay, even in Singapore they are using it, but still people are afraid about it. But all are in testing stage. Okay, and then there are deep knowledge ventures. Okay, and then a big data lab. Okay, and then mainly used in healthcare. Okay, I'm going to talk about it. That is a one case study. Okay, so how to detect the diseases. okay, where we can incorporate this AI and as well as the IoT. Right now, people are talking about, even when I talk about the projects, the government of India, the DST, have CSRI is another domain where they are particularly looking for this cognitive sciences, okay, research. Okay, it's initiative, cognitive science initiative research, where they are focusing on the very novel projects on AI in cognitive. Right, for example, like all, if you talk about this, no, the, even you have one more division called Satyam, where they are talking about how you can apply this AI and IoT techniques for yoga. Okay, so which is particularly on yoga and meditation, so how you are going to use, that's what I am saying, AI for everything. Okay, so there are many applications we have, you'll see that. Then AI driven unprecedented era. Okay, like one is the hyper time compression, where people are looking for new distributed innovations and extreme convergence of multiple domains and exponential accelerating automation. What I'm talking about now, people are looking for the automations where they are trying to bring parts and the big IoT devices. Okay, and then these data will be analyzed by our AI. So when you look this AI and IoT, these are the phases involved in AI and IoT. So what do you try to do? The first one is the data collection. For that, you have to use the sensors. Now, what is happening in the most of the research, if you look, people are using the existing sensors. Like, for example, I want to measure or I want to measure the soil condition, then there are some sensors which are already available to measure the different type of soils and the level of the soils. Okay, so instead of doing that, even people can think about developing a new sensor. It can be low cost sensors. Okay, then we can use that for your applications. So first one is we can use the existing sensors to collect the data. Okay, so otherwise we can create a sensors. Okay, we can create a small IoT devices, right, and then through that we can collect the data. Then communicate. We have to communicate the data. We have to transfer the data. Then we have to aggregate, where we have to do this data integrations. Then it will go to the AI part. Okay, AI plays a role here where you will analyze the data. So where you will be using this augmented intelligence. Okay, like if you say AI, that machine learning will be there, and data science will be there, and data analytics will be there. So depends upon the application's requirement, you can use any one of these techniques, and you can try to discover the interesting patterns from the data which you collected through IoT devices. And then the another one is the augmented behavior. It's not only like predicting something, and once it is predicted, and we have to act on that. What is the solution for that? For example, I am going to talk about how we are going to use IoT in disaster. Okay, so in disaster management, in here we will have separate slides for that. So where you are trying to predict the landslide, for example, then it's not only predicting the landslide, it is the job. Once the landslide is predicted, we have to inform to the people, we have to make them alert. Okay, so that's called as augmented behavior. Okay, that's act. Okay, so that's what in the healthcare. Okay, with respect to healthcare, if you look the data analytics, earlier people talked about only the descriptive analytics and predictive analytics. Correct, descriptive analytics and predictive analytics. So what is this descriptive analytics? It is nothing but you will analyze the data based on the property of the data. Okay, but in the predictive analytics, you are trying to predict, right, what is going to happen. And but what is the prescriptive analysis? If it is happened, what is the solution for it? That is the prescriptive analytics. So now people are talking about descriptive analytics, and then predictive analytics, and then prescriptive analytics. So AI and IoT. So we can say that the AI with Internet of Things has the potential to reshape our industries and our current business and our current economic. So if you have AIT powered by AI, which generates intelligent technologies that mimic intelligent behavior and assist in decision making with little or no human intervention. That is the ultimate aim of integrating these two fields, AI and IoT. Okay, right? So that will be having the intelligent devices. We can say like that. If you incorporate the AIs in IoT, then simply will have intelligent devices. Okay, it will be automated one. Okay, no need of any human interventions, right? That's what people are talking about, self-driving car and so on. Now the Tesla is trying to introduce that, right? A lot of work is going on. The benefits of AI-enabled IoT, there are a lot of benefits we have. These are which we have taken from some article only, some from white papers. Please go through that. So the first one is the enhanced operational efficiency. AI in IoT crunches a continuous stream of data, okay, and discovers patterns. So the ultimate aim of AI is to discover the patterns, and the streaming data will be collected by IoT devices. Okay. And then when you talk about AI, always there will be machine learning techniques, right? So yeah, you know that now people are talking about uh, deep learning and machine learning. So what is the use of this techniques? These techniques are used. If you look at the machine learning, there are three paradigms in that where you have supervised learning, semi-supervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Okay. So by using this supervised learning, people are trying to build a model, right? They are trying to forecast the operations, which are circumstances, and identify the parameters that need to be changed in order to get optimal results when you try to integrate this AI with IoT. For example, the Google, where they are using this artificial intelligence to cut the cost of cooling its data centers. Okay. And then the second one is the improving the precision cost. Okay. Always know the human minds are restricted in their ability to perform multiple tasks at particular point of time. So what happens? No, you used to do a mistakes. So to avoid that, you can incorporate this AI-enabled IoT. So what it does, the IoT, which has the ability to break down large amount of data that are sent and received via tools. For example, you know that this fraud detection is the another important place people are talking about much, and you are also facing the issues. Even my credit card blocked by the HDFC yesterday because some international transactions happened without my knowledge. Okay, so there are a lot of frauds are happening, and so now they want to incorporate this IoT AI enabled IoT, so that no, you can avoid such a kind of frauds. Okay, so like you can have IoT devices which is inbuilt in the ATM, and by using this AI, you can try to avoid this kind of frauds. And third one is the scalability. Scalability is another important benefits of AI-enabled IoT. When you talk about scalability, it's nothing but the like no, it can be any size of data. Okay, it can be any size of data because you know that the first slide which I have shown to you is uh, data driven by AI. Okay, see today the complete economic of the world is driven by data. You used to say in earlier days, people used to say that oil, oil is the factor which determines the economic of the world. But now the oil is replaced by data. So the complete economic of the world is driven by data. So if you have data, then AI plays a crucial role. So how to get the data? IoT is important. So this AI enabled IoT is the important area where you can do lots of research. Okay, right? So the scalability in the IoT, you will get huge amount of data, but whatever the algorithms you are trying to develop by using artificial intelligence techniques, it may not able to access all size of data. So you have to develop a scalable algorithm such a way that it can handle any size of data, right? That is called as increased scalability. So the example, self-healing robots. So it is a new generation of robotic mobile phones and high-end computers. Okay, right. So if you see this, sorry, this is the, you have to have a space here. So this is a new generation of robotics, self-healing robots. Now you know that the robots, okay, which are built with help of this IoT, AI and IoT, without doctor, you can do operations. Okay. See, in the, if you look the Apollo, Chennai Apollo, there they have, they are doing a lot of operations by using robotics. For example, like cancers, and there are many operations, okay, which is done with the help of the robots. Okay. And when you talk about the scalability, the, you can see, even you can take the mobile phones and the IoT computers. Okay, they are the some of the IoT gadgets. Okay, you can say that these are low cost sensors. These sensors generates massive amounts of data. So how to analyze such a large amount of data? Need AI-powered IoT ecosystem which can analyze such a large amount of data and it can summarize it. Right, so that is scalability is another important domain. You know that that is another technology which people are talking about, blockchain. Correct? Okay, so it is another area. So even now people are using this blockchain, AI, and IoT. The blockchain also, the problem is still the in, like if you take this hyperledger platform, where the scalability is the big issue, right? Even we are working on that, and one of my research scholar come up with scalable algorithms to handle a large amount of data. Okay, so these are the various. So see, here I have specified only limited benefits. There are a lot of benefits when you have this, when you go for AI-enabled IoT. And there are IoT using AI in the real world, which are existing, like I talked about robots, robotic. When you talk about robotics, automatically IoT, without IoT and AI, we cannot do anything. So a self-healing robots is examples. It's a new generation of robotics. And autonomous vehicles. Okay, so Tesla's self-driving automobiles. So what it does, it uses artificial intelligence to predict the pedestrian on car behavior in variety of situations, like identifying the road conditions, ideal speed, what is the weather. Accordingly, the vehicle will be driven. Okay, that is the which is already there. Okay, then retail analytics. People are trying to use this IoT and AI in this retail analytics to make more profit. Okay, so many data points from cameras and sensors are used in retail analytics to track customers' movements and forecast when they will arrive at the checkout line. Okay, so these are the various AI-enabled IoTs are available, and there are many applications. Right, just have a look on that. Now we'll focus on the another point, how you can use this AI and IoT in healthcare. You can see this picture, right? A doctor, right? A doctor is in critical path, right? So he has to predict. Now the people are, no, the doctors, they are trying to use this AI techniques to assist them. You can say like that. So if you have this AI-powered IoT devices, okay, which will help the doctors to predict the disease in time, okay, and so that the doctor can give the prescriptions, right? So in healthcare, many of the hospitals already they are using this AI-powered IoT. So we can say this is the so if you want to use this AI and IoT, the IoT are used to collect the data, but when you want to develop the prediction model, the machine learning plays a crucial role. The machine learning plays a crucial role in that, correct? So how the machine learning can be used in healthcare domain? You can see it's not only predicting the disease, it's used in many areas of this healthcare domain. For example, We can use identify patient subgroups for personalized and precision medicine. Now you know that you are in this pandemic situation, COVID-19. When you go for the hospital, right now the hospital is itself, for example, if the hospital has 4 floors, now they are dividing it to 2 floors for COVID patients and 2 floors for patients without COVID for other diseases. So they want to identify the patients who has COVID and who don't have a COVID. So they want to form this clustering, okay, like unsupervised learning they can apply, right, where they are using this AI, okay, and then automate detection of relevance findings in pathology and radiology. Okay, it's another important place where people are using this AI techniques, okay, and optimize hospital processes such as resource allocation and fashion flow. Just now I talked about retail analytics, where we can use this AI powered IoT. The same thing can be incorporated in the hospitals. Like few example, if you take a CMC from Vellore, where you used to get huge patients every day. It will be crowded always. Okay, it will be crowded always. So how you are going to take care the flow of patient? Okay, for example, if you want to go for X-ray, there will be huge number of people will be standing in the queue. So you can try to optimize the hospital processes and then the resources, okay, based on the fashion flow, based using this IoT and AI techniques. Okay. And another important thing is why we have to incorporate this AI-enabled IoT, which will help us to reduce the medication errors. Okay, that is another important role of using this AI-powered IoT. Okay, and not only that, it improves the accuracy of diagnosis. Okay, and risk prediction. So if you look this AI in medicine, which has 2 main branches, one is the virtual branch and another one is the physical branch. You can see that there are a lot of people are standing in the queue. So this can be avoided by using our AI powered IoT. So one is highly repetitive work mostly. Okay, always you have to empower the doctors. Okay, help them deliver faster and more accurate results. Augment the professionals, offering them expertise and assistance if you have this AI powered IoT. Replace personal and staffing in medical facilities, particularly in administrative functions, like by using, you can record their details by using these IoT devices, so that it will manage waiting times and you are trying to automate the scheduling. That is the ultimate aim. Okay, right? So with respect to physical branch, it includes physical objects, medical devices, sophisticated robots for delivery of care. Okay, robots for surgery. I told you, right? In many hospitals now, they are using the robots. You can see here. So this is another area, very important area. If you look, if you ask people, even I have many participants here. 1 minute. First, I will want to see the participants. It's a one-way communication so far. Let me. Yeah, how many people, how many research scholars? I don't know how many research scholars are registered for this workshop, and there are 143 participants. I want to know how many of you are working on healthcare analytics. You can text, you can chat in the chat box. How many people are working in healthcare analytics? So I'm getting any one message. Let me see. How many people are working in healthcare analytics? If you can, Geeta Sinka, no. Or if anybody is there and we can unmute and speak, no problem.
Participants, you can unmute and answer, sir.
No one is working on healthcare analytics. I am surprising. I know I got some message. Yes, some.
We are working towards the healthcare domain, sir.
Madam, your name, please introduce yourself.
My name is Dr. Batmadi from Tyagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai.
Right, good. Yes, madam. Tell me, madam.
We are working towards the explainable AI model for healthcare domain, sir.
Okay, okay. Right. Any of your research scholars doing, madam, working on the
Yes,
project?
sir. Yes, sir. My research scholars are working in that particular area. Actually, we have used ML and DL, and now we are working towards the explainable AI, sir. But I don't have much idea on IIoT, SIoT, sir. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I explored some papers, I haven't get enough knowledge on this. So I think your session will be useful for us to continue our research, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else? Yeah, working in the healthcare analytics. So the problem is here. There are two problems in healthcare. One, the data is very sensitive. Correct. The data are very sensitive. People or the hospitals are not. I hope my PPT is visible.
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
People are not ready to, or the hospitals are not ready to share the data until if you have any MOU with any hospitals. For example, I worked in NIT Surathkal for past 5 years. There, no, you had MOU with many hospitals. It is located, NIT Surathkal is located at Mangalore, where we have Father Mulla hospitals. So we had MOU with Father Mulla hospitals, and Dr. Jenny Ranjan is my colleague. He used to work on this medical images. Okay, and even we had tie up with some Trivandrum hospitals, and we collected data. And recently, if you allow me just 2 minutes, 1 minute. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We'll wait.
So, yeah. So you should have a MOU with the hospitals. Then only there is a possibility of getting data. Correct. Now people are, if you say healthcare analytics, people will say, I am trying to predict a cancer, I am trying to predict a brain tumor, and I am trying to predict the like no diabetics. Okay, so people will talk about that, but where people will get the data? That is my question. Where people will get the data? It is very difficult, right? Only thing is, if any of your relative is working in hospital, there is a possibilities to get some data. So what else you can do? You can have, then in that case, you can have this IoT devices in my home, or in your home, or in any of your relatives. There may be some, for example, I want to analyze the conditions of the diabetic patients by using this AI and IoT. Yes, it's possible. You can build a wearable devices. What is happening in the healthcare analytics? People are trying to use the wearable devices. Through that, the patient conditions will be monitored. For example, I have a smartwatch. Okay. Now, how it is happening here? So it's in sensing. There are a lot of sensors which are deployed in the smartwatch, and through that, data are collected. Okay. It says that yesterday evening, it says that I am getting alarm. It says that drink water and relax. Okay, drink water and relax. Correct. So you can concentrate on building your own wearable devices. There are in the market, there are lot of wearable devices are available. Okay, you can also buy and use and collect the data. Suppose we are not able to set up the your own devices, or we can collect the sensors. There are individual sensors for use for different purposes. that you can try to collect, and you can build your own devices, and then you can deploy in your any of your relatives, and you can try to collect the data. Then you can generate the data. See, when you are trying to see, Madam Dr. Padma Madam from Tyagaraja College, she said they are working on this, but they may not. They are using ML techniques and deep learning. If you go for deep learning, now people are moving from machine learning to deep learning. Okay, but they will say that it's they want to improve the accuracy. But now where will get such huge amount of data? If you want to apply this deep learning techniques, you need minimum 5,000 samples at least. Okay, but whether we will get the 5,000 samples by using these wearable devices, that is a challenging one. Am I right? So you have to think about of collecting the data, number one, and then you can generate the data, synthetic data you can generate. Okay, then only we'll get that minimum 5,000 samples, then you can apply your deep learning techniques or your machine learning techniques. So the wearable devices plays a crucial role. My wife did a PhD where she used the computational intelligence techniques, okay, where she used this wearable devices, where she has not developed any devices, but we had some data which are collected through wearable devices, and she has analyzed it. She has used soft computing techniques, and she developed a model. So people are working on this. Okay, you can use this kind of, you can think of developing some low cost wearable devices, okay, to collect the patient's data, and then you can apply our IoT AI techniques to analyze and discover the disease information, right? So that is a very important one. People can focus on this, because when people talked about healthcare analytics, the big challenge is where they will get the data. Okay, the data is not available. There are in the public forum, there are some available data, but the question is how far it is reliable. How far it is reliable? How will validate your model, right? So these are the some of the challenges we have to focus on that. Okay, so you can think of using some, 1 minute, hello, hello, yeah. So people can think about it, and you can develop your own wearable devices, and you can try to collect the data. Then I will come to the next case study, which is nothing but how you can use this IoT for disaster analytics. You can say disaster management or disaster analytics. When you talk about disaster, uh, it's another important area. There are different categories of disasters. We have floods, you have earthquake. When you talk about floods, recently people are affected by floods. Like 2021, we had a huge rain in entire Tamil Nadu, and there were a lot of floods happened in different areas, particularly Chennai and many places, and even Kerala also got affected a lot. Okay, and there are many countries affected by floods, right? So how to predict this flood? And even there is a one recent announcement by Government of India. 1 minute, if possible, I can share that. 1 minute. If I am able to connect my WhatsApp, I want to show you that. The Ministry of Education has launched a hackathon for students. They need 1 minute. It's connecting my.
Okay, baby, bye.
Bye.
Have a good day.
which I forwarded to my friends to work on that. Yeah. You're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir. Predictive warning.
Yes, we can see this is a recent announcement by NDRF, National Disaster Response Force. Okay, Ministry of Education, Government of India. There is an innovation cell at Government of India where they are trying to conduct the Smart India Hackathon 2022. The idea is predictive warning for release of water from reservoirs causing flood situations. So you know that how the flood happened in Chennai, that Sembrambakam Lake is there. They are not able to monitor the water flow. That's why the big flood happened in Chennai. So they want a system predictive warning for release of water from reservoirs causing flood situations, right? So where people are completely where we can use this AI and IoT. So you can propagate your students, those who are the faculties attending this workshop. I request all of you, please help or inform your students. They can use this AI and IoT concept here. Okay, they can develop some predictive early warning models. Okay, by using IoT, we can use IoTs where we can control or we can monitor the flow of waters. Okay, in the reservoirs, and then we can also automate the release of water. Okay, you can also automate the release of water, okay, based on the flow of waters, so that no, the flood situation can be avoided, right? So the idea is develop an app that assess the rainfall, develop an app that assess the rainfall through prediction model. You got it? So prediction model always will use AI techniques, correct? Machine learning techniques. So you have to develop a model which will assess the rainfall, because automatically the flow of water depends on rainfall. Am I right? Correct. So you have to measure the rainfall. There you use the IoT. Now I am coming to that. Just I will explain this, then how we have used for our project. So you have to monitor, you have to predict the rainfall by using IoT devices. Once we are able to predict the rainfall through the IoT devices, then we can also monitor the flow of waters, okay, by using IoT devices, and we can also control the release of waters by using IoT devices, okay, so that you can give this alarm, okay, prediction alarm to the people. If there are huge rainfall and huge flow of waters, then we can control the release of waters, release of the waters, okay, so that the flood situation can be avoided. So develop an app that assess the rainfall through prediction model and areas to be affected from the release of water from reservoirs, and generate alerts to people at low lying areas. Okay, so really it is required. So this scenario is completely fit for this workshop. Okay, this hackathon is more related to this workshop, where we can use this SSIoT and industrial IoT, so that you can, if you integrate the AI with the IoT, then it is possible, right? So it's one of the recent requirement by the government of India. Okay, right. I'll come back to my study. Yeah, right. So the disaster is another important area where people are working on it, right? Flood is the problem, and then the second one is the earthquake, and there are a lot of earthquake used to happen. Even recently in Vellore district, they have realized this earthquake, and cyclone is another one which is always threatening us. Like NIT Puducherry is located in near to Delta district. Okay, where the big problem is the cyclone for us during our different type of monsoons. Every time we used to get some cyclone here, and people got affected. Their infrastructures will get affected. Their livelihoods will get affected, right? So how to assess the damage? Okay, how to predict the cyclones? Okay, how to develop the early warning models for cyclone? So where you can use this? Once again, the cyclone also you can also it all depends on various factors. So that factors, the parameters can be determined, okay, or measured or monitored by using IoT devices. And the next disaster is the landslide. And the landslide used to happen in the hill regions, and you know that particularly in South India, you are not getting much problem. But our studies, the project which we have done for ISRO is based on the South region only, South India. We have done a project for Ooty in 2009. There was a huge landslide happen in Ooty. So based on that, you have to post a model, early warning model. But when you go for North India, still in Himalayas, this landslide and landslip is the big problem. Okay, right. So there are a lot of research which are going on this landslide, where the IoT will play a major role. Okay, AI-enabled IoT will play a major role. So those who are trying to apply funded projects, you can think about it. Okay, you can apply some projects using this AI and IoT based landslide prediction model. Okay. Anyhow, I will show you. I will talk more about this landslide because my complete slide depends on that. Then draft. Draft is the another issues. Okay, and one is if you have huge rainfall, you will get flood or you will get cyclone. Because of the cyclone, there is a relationship, right? We are talking about social IoT. So social means nothing but a relationship, right? So how it provides the relationship between cyclone and floods, correct? So if there is a cyclone, there is a possibility of floods. So where we can incorporate this SIoT, right? And draft also related to this rainfall. If there is no rainfall, there will be draft. Okay. So how to predict that so that no, you can try to do some monitoring. And another important disaster is a forest fire. Okay, and like what is the need of the devices where people cannot enter? We can keep these devices and you can monitor or you can capture the data, right? So in the forest fire also, you can think of using this IoT devices to predict the forest fire. So these are the various categories of disasters. So you have used this IoT, you have proposed one project based on this. As I said, in 2009, uh, a huge landslide happened uh, in Nilagiri district, which is located in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so which destroyed the roads, houses, and there are many people have died. Right. So then the government has initiated a lot of projects how to give or how to avoid how to predict this landslide events. Okay. And a big problem is the roads will be destroyed, and so even the highway authorities and other government organizations they are thinking of they have shown their interest to develop landslide management. So there are various factors which causes the landslide. I don't want to go into the depth. Okay, these are the various factors: the slope of the region, and then the soil type, drainage system, and geomorphology, and land use, land cover. There are many factors which causes the landslide. They are called as preparatory factors, but triggering factor is there. Okay, so the landslide may happen because of two triggering factors. One is the rainfall, another one is the earthquake. If there is an earthquake, then there will be landslide. Okay, so even you can know that tsunami. I forgot about the tsunami. So the tsunami which happened because of the earthquake, correct? So these are called as triggering factors. So the rainfall and earthquake are called as the triggering factors which causes the landslides. Right. So this is a landslide hazard zonation map of India. You can see North India. There are a lot of very high hazard used to happen in this northeast. Okay, right. So there are some regions in southern India also, particularly in Kerala and UP and so on. Yeah. So now this is the model where we want to predict the rainfall actually. So this actually the idea is to develop a landslide prediction model using IoT. So there are two things, phase one and phase two. The phase one is, as I said, rainfall is the triggering factor. Rainfall is the triggering factor. So you thought of predicting some rainfall. Okay. So how to predict the rainfall? You have to collect many parameters which causes the rainfall. Correct. So there are a lot of gauge stations already. AWS, there are a lot of gauge stations are available to measure the rainfall. People are using it, but still it is not much accurate. It's not much accurate. For example, in the beginning of my talk, I told you that you are doing some research with UPASI. Okay, the UPASI is nothing but it is a one union, right? They are looking for no, they are taking care of this tea, coffee, and rubber. Okay, this it's a big association which is run by a big unit. Okay, estate owners of tea, coffee, and rubber. So this UPASI is doing a lot of research on tea, coffee, and rubber. Correct. So the head office is located at Valparai actually, Valparai, and its sub office, another assistant director office is
real
located.
time example nalla solliட்டு போறாரு.
So where personally they have gauge stations to measure the rainfalls. What is the use of it? There are a lot of tea estates. I think someone has chatted in the chat box that they are doing in agriculture. I think the participant is Sudha. Am I right?
Sir.
Is your name?
Yes, sir. Sudha, sir. Yes, sir.
You are from where, madam?
Sir.
You are
From
here?
sir, NIT Puducherry, sir.
Oh, okay, okay, right, right. Oh, you are our participant. Okay,
Yes,
right,
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah. So there are a lot of research which is going on in agriculture.
இதெல்லாம் காலேஜ்
What happens? The tea estate, they use, there are a lot of diseases which used to happen. You know that. Someone has to mute. Please mute. Yeah. So what is happening? You know that people are working on this leaf disease identifications. It's another area. But compare than other crop, if you take the tea crop, leaf plays a major role, right? In the tea, leaf is important, right? So the entire tea production depends on the tea leaf. So people are focusing on that, how to prevent the diseases, okay, how to detect the diseases and how to prevent it. That is the important concern of the tea estate owners. So they are depending on this UPASI, what this UPASI used to say, they used to collect the rainfall factors through these gauge stations, and they will send some messages to them that today there will not be rain. Today there will not be rain. Okay. So what happens? No, they used to use some fertilizers to avoid this disease, tea leaf diseases. But what happens? They will spray that particular fertilizers, but suddenly there will be a rain. So if there is a rain, then whatever the fertilizer they have sprayed, it will be waste. So that is the big problem which are faced by the tea estate owners and coffee estate owners. So they used to get a message from this UPASI, and based on that they used to spray the fertilizer. Now they are looking for, I myself visited Ooty personally when I was there in NIT Surathkal, because we are also working on this tea leaf disease prediction model, which is required for tea board. It's on, once again, it's the government of India. The tea board is located at Kolkata, head office is Kolkata. There they have NTRF, National Tea Research Foundation. There they are looking for the how to improve the production of tea. Okay. So because of that, actually we have wrote one project proposal and it is in the pipeline. So for that, for data collection, we have visited this Ooty. Actually, we went for some to collect the tea leaf images. Okay, but during the discussion with the tea estate owners, then we came to know there are a lot of academician helps are required for this field actually. Not only it's a leaf disease prediction, there are many, there are a lot of opportunity. One of the opportunities how to develop a early warning model, okay, for predicting the rainfall, right? They want to have accurate rainfall prediction models. They want accurate rainfall prediction model, right? If they have such an accurate rainfall prediction model, it will help them, okay? It will help them to spray the particular fertilizer in time so that they will save the tea leaf from the disease. There are different type of leaf diseases like blister blight, gray light. There are many, okay, right? So these real estate owners are ready to support the academicians in various point of view. So people who are in that region, I think people from Kerala and people from Karnataka and people from Tamil Nadu, we can focus on that if anybody is doing this research, right? So you can build low cost IoT devices to measure the rainfall parameters. There are a lot of sensors already there to measure humidity. If you want to predict the rainfall, you have to pay humidity, minimum temperature, maximum temperature, wind speed, right? There are many factors which causes the rainfall, right? So you can have your IoT devices. So this project idea is you want to have, so you have to develop this rainfall prediction model RPM by using this IoT. Okay, so you can have your IoT devices, and through that, you can collect all the details and you can predict the rainfalls. Once the rainfall is predicted, then we can go for this early warning landslide susceptibility model. Okay, the rainfall is one factor. There are many factors. I will show you the project which we have done for ISRO, right? And once this prediction model is developed, then it will give the landslide warning to the highway departments because they have to take the necessary actions to for the traffic flow, okay, and then the VO officers, the local people, and collectorate and panchayat presidents, okay, right? So the alert message will be given to them, and they can save the peoples. They can save the peoples. They can save the infrastructures like road and building and so on. This is ultimate aim of this model. Actually, in this row, this is the first part we have done, and then this is supplied to NRDMS. There is a another agency called NRDMS. Okay, so for this during this project presentation only, I visited Himalayas. Because there they have conducted this event, the project presentation at Himalayas, Rishikesh. Okay, so there there are a lot of requirements for this landslide and landslip. So the idea is designing IoT kit to collect data such as humidity, temperature, and so on for rainfall predictions. Okay, and you have to see already there are a lot of models are there. People are working on it. You have to see how your model is going to differ. That is very, very important. Okay, so here we have proposed a machine learning technique by using multiple linear regression techniques. Okay, so you know that when you talk about prediction, regression is a standard technique, correct? Okay, you have different type of regression: linear regression, non-linear regression, multiple regression, Poisson regression, and then Lizzo regression, then logistic regression. There are many regression techniques are there. By using any one of the regression techniques, but here we have why we use multiple linear regression, because the y is linear regression means y is equal to alpha plus beta x, correct? So the y will be predicted based on x. So x is called as a predicted variable, and this is the equation, right? You used to use y is equal to alpha plus beta x, correct? So the y, we have to predict y based on this x. So the x is called as a predicted variable, and this alpha and beta are called as coefficients, which will be measured. It will be computed by using least square method. Okay, then y will be predicted. But in case of if you want to predict the rainfall, then it will be more x, right? Y is equal to alpha plus beta 1x, correct? X1 plus beta 2 x2, like that it goes on, correct? Because there are many parameters, like we have humidity, we have wind speed and minimum temperature and so on. So that's why you can use the multiple linear regression techniques to predict the rainfall. Okay, then once it is predicted, then we will go for this early warning landslide susceptibility model, which is developed using Bayesian technique. Bayesian is another AI technique, that is a machine learning techniques, supervised learning technique, right? If you have Navy Bayesian classification, by using that you can develop a model, right? So this is a small sensor kit you have proposed, right? We can see there are different sensors you have deployed here: temperature sensor, humidity sensor, soil moisture sensor, daylight sensors, okay, ultrasonic wind sensor, rainfall sensor. There is a rainfall sensor itself, okay. Then GPS kit, because the location you have to monitor, okay. Then camera. There are many things we have deployed. A small device we have proposed. And this is a study region I told you, right? In the Nilgiri district, you have taken this Nilgiri district. This is the one where there are many areas. Mostly used to get landslide in Ooty and Kunnur, most of the time, mostly. And you can see there are different people. You have collected data from Anna University. You need the, because the project mainly based on the remote sensing data, and so we have collected some study data from there is a hill area development in Ooty. Okay, they are also looking for this kind of project. Even Tamil Nadu government is giving project. This hill area development comes under the Tamil Nadu government. Okay, so through that also you can get a project. Okay, and then Opasi, I told you, right? This guy has helped a lot. And then there are this is the another central government institute located at Ooty, CSWCRTI. They are working on this soil. They are working on soil. So because we are not expert, right? We are only computer science people, and you can develop, you can propose only this AI techniques and IoT models. But the soil and all, you don't know, you don't have any idea. So whenever you do any project, no, always the domain expert is very important. That's why I'm showing this slide. It's not, see, you can say healthcare analytics, but you need a doctor. Okay, without doctor, you cannot validate your model. Like when I'm going to do any project related to this landslide, I need some domain experts. Without them, I cannot do any model or any project. So these are the people who have helped us. They have classified the different type of soils, because the landslide, even though there is a heavy rainfall, depends upon the soil nature only, the landslide will happen. Okay, so they have classified the soils, and these are the different people who have contributed, the experts, like I told, no, for data validation, Kumaran director from Trichy Bhadas University, Muthukumar from Gandhigram Rural University, and he is a guy who helped a lot, Pankaj Jishwal from Geological Survey of India, right? So this is our field study for this landslide. I told, no, this is called as Central Soil and Water Conservation Research and Training Institute. It is located at Ooty, right? She is my JRF. We have collected for, so this is the data which is collected, okay, in the field study. We have used our device to collect the data. Right, these are the special databases we have created, and these are the maps, different maps which we have used for this landslide study. And this is the complete architecture of our model. You can see here, and what you did, satellite images which you got from ISRO, some few maps and few maps from IRS Anna University, and then Survey of India has given some maps. And then the statistical department located at Ooty, where you went, they have deployed around 30 to 30, if I'm right, 30 to 32 guard stations they have deployed in various locations, and through that they have collected this rainfall factors, and based on that this rainfall map is generated by us. This map is generated by us. These are map which collected from based on this satellite images. These are thematic maps, thematic layers. Okay, and then we have constructed the spatial database, and then we have used landslide prediction model using Bayesian. Okay, and we have to rank and weight the parameters, like, no, some soil will play a high role in landslide, so there will be more weight. Okay, So this ranking and weighting we cannot do. This is required from the domain experts. Then we have prediction model. Okay, so this is a map we have produced and it is validated by using field data. These are the different ranks and weights we have assigned, and then this is the classification we have used, and this is the final map we have produced. Here you can see the red map indicates very high landslides. You can see these are the regions are more prone to landslide. Okay, this green is high, then it is moderate and low. Okay, Kodurur and other parts, and it is very low. Okay, and this is a project. Is a focal person from SAC Ahmedabad, Dr. Rajavat sir. He helped a lot in this project. Okay, and I am the PI, and he is my guide and co-institute Dr. Arun Kumar sir, and she is also my Hanvarasi Madam copy, and she is a JR. And this is a model we have developed. Now I want to tell you that this model is now they are using for Sikkim by changing some parameters, other parameters, because the slope will not be same. Okay, that the overall model is used, but there are some inner changes they are doing, and they are using for Sikkim to predict the landslides. Okay, so that's all from my side. So you can do a lot of AI powered or AI enabled IoT for many applications. So I talked about 3 cases. One is on healthcare, another one is on agriculture, another one is on disaster management. So now you decide where you are going to apply your artificial intelligence and IoT together. Thank you for listening my speech, and let me know if you have any queries.